With the name of Almighty One God, may be peace, blessings, and mercy of Almighty One God on all of you. This is the series of Muslim contributions in science and art. Today we will discuss with the fine arts, contribution of Muslims in fine arts. So first is Arabic calligraphy. It's calligraphy, Muslim Arabic calligraphy. The Arabic script stands second only to Roman script in the world. It's a script which prevails throughout the Islamic world, extending from Morocco in the west to the Indonesia in the east. With the advancement of Arabic culture, greater refinements of taste in almost all walks of the life, including calligraphy, was noticed in Arabia and other Muslim countries where Arabic script was adopted as the national script. The Arabic calligraphy, both in beauty and variety, was also influenced by the local conditions, and a few celebrated calligraphers wrote as many as 50 different Arabic scripts. The earliest monuments of Arabic writings are the trilingual, means Greek, Syriac, and Arabic inscriptions dated 512 AD, and the bilingual Greek and Arabic inscriptions of Haran in the Lech dating 568 AD. During the earlier period of Islam, the principal material written on was leather. Besides this, palm leaves, camel bones, flat white stones, wooden tables, and parchments were also used for writing purposes. The origin of Arabic scripture has not been established. Some think it to be a developed form of stiff regular script called Kuji by the Arabs, Kugi, Kuji by the Arabs. Balazuri and many others hold it to have been invented in the states of Lakhmids. Ibn Khaldun and Ibn Khalikan corroborate this view of maintain that the art of writing spread from Hara or Ambar. The Arabic script replaced the prevailing script of the countries conquered by Arabs. Arabic replaced Syriac in the Iraq, Syria, and Palestine. Pahlavi script in Persia, Coptic and Greek scripts in Egypt, and primitive Berber script in North America. The period of Abbasid caliphs is the golden era of Islamic culture, distinguished for the great advancement of Arabic science and arts. The Arab calligraphy too received great impetus during the Abbasid reign. Hitherto Arab calligraphists concentrated in the writings of the Quran and on monuments of stone, but now greater refinement and variety was visible in the work of Arab calligraphers. Greater attention was now paid to the artistic development of Arab calligraphy. During and before the Abbasid rule, a script called Khutut existed, which was used for the writing of Quran and for profane literature. During the Abbasid Caliphate, a number of outstanding calligraphists existed. One of them was Ghalib bin Ubaidullah, who invented Rehani script. He was also prolific writer who lived under Mamrium and died in 834 AD. The others were Wazir ibn Mukla, 885 to 940 AD, and the brothers Abu Abdullah al-Hasan, 881 to 942 AD. No reliable specimen of their art is available except an alleged autograph of Mukla preserved in the Khedivial library. These last two calligraphists are taken to the reformers of written script. Ibn Khaldun holds that Kufic characters were changed by Mukla into a present type of script. Ibn al-Bawwab, who died in 1022 AD, was a celebrated Arab calligrapher called Ibn al-Sitri. He wrote 64 copies of the Quran. One of them was written in Rehani script, which is preserved in the Lelai Mosque of Istanbul, to which it was given by Sultan Salim I. The Diwan of pre-Islamic poet Salama bin Jandal, copied by him in a beautiful hand, was placed in the library of Abba Sufia in Turk. He improved Rehani script and invented Mahagi script. He started a school of calligraphy at Baghdad, which lasted up to the time of Yaqut al-Mustasimi. Yaqut al-Mustasimi, the court calligrapher of al-Mustasim Billah, the last caliph among the Abbasid, acquired great fame. A script called Yakuri derived its name from him. The two Qurans written by him in 1290 and 1291 are still extant and exhibit the stiff naskhi of later Persian period. Yaqut signature is written in a kind of sulz. According to Western critic, he owes his fame more to fashion than to anything else. On the decline of Abbasid Caliph, the center of Arab culture shifted in Egypt, the largest Muslim country where the Fatimids had formed their caliphs. During the first half of the 6th century Hijrah, the round script was greatly developed and used in books by Arab calligraphers in Egypt. Under the Ayyubid dynasty of Egypt, it was mostly used on stone monuments. For example, Saladin's inscriptions on the arch and minar of the mosque Aqsa in Jerusalem. During Mamluk rule of Egypt, very beautiful designs and round Arabic script was developed by calligraphers, and specimens are found in Qurans written for the Sultan and Amirs of Egypt of the period. During the rule of the Abbasid, Fatimid and other Egyptian dynasties, much attention was paid both by the government departments and by private individuals to calligraphy. Kalkashandi is the second volume of his great work of different types of official script. For example, number 1, Al-Tumar Al-Kamil. Number 2, Mukhfasir Al-Pumar. Number 3, Al-Tulish. Number 4, Al-Tawaki. Number 5, Al-Rika. Number 6, Al-Gubnar. During the Mamluk period, stone monuments exhibited graceful script, the letters of which were the more elegant and the slender than any produced up to that period. After the fall of Mamluks, the Ottoman Turks too patronized Arabic calligraphy, and much attention was paid to its both official and privately. As late as the 11th century, more than 30 different scripts were known. A celebrated Turkish calligraphers who left behind immortal specimen of Arabic calligraphy were Hamd Allah, who died in 1530 AD, and Hafiz Osman, who died in 1698. Arabic calligraphy declined in Arab countries after the 14th century AD, but it became more refined and artistic in Muslim countries, especially Persia, where Arabic script was adopted and verses of the Quran were frequently written in different forms. The Persians developed Arabic calligraphy to a high degree of perfection. The famous calligraphist Muhammad Rawandi, called Najmuddin Abu Bakr, born at Rawand near Kashan, could write 70 different scripts, and other famous calligraphers, Muhammad Hussain Tabrizi, who received the title of Mehan Ustad, Mehan means greatest, who has left behind numerous examples of the art of calligraphy. His masterpieces was the inscription on the mosque and Khanka, mean sanctuary, of Tabriz, which was destroyed in an earthquake. So Arabic calligraphy was developed in different centers where Arab had settled, namely North Africa, Spain, Morocco, and Nigeria. The Arabic script was modified according to local conditions and was named after local places. In North Africa, it was called Maghrabi, means Western. In Spain, it was called Andalusian. In Morocco, it was called Farsi. Rare specimens of Arabic calligraphy are still to be seen in the big cities of the Islamic world. Greater and greater grace is being added to it. So this was my research in calligraphy, and now we will discuss the other fine arts in the Muslim countries by Muslims. So it is the second art. During the regimes of the pious caliphs who led simple lives like ordinary mortals and had no palaces or decorations, the arts could make little headway. But soon thereafter, during the Umayyad caliphs, when caliphs preferred a life of pomp and pageantry, the minor arts received unprecedented encouragement, and Muslim artisans became pioneers in the sphere of minor arts too. The Abbasids, who were greatly influenced by Persian culture, built greater palaces and distinguished themselves as a great patron of art and learning. The other countries where Muslims' minor arts flourished were Muslim Spain, Persia, and Mughal India. Islam was the direct heir of many ancient craft traditions unknown to the West, writes A.H. Christine of Islam. In much the same way that Muslim scholars transmitted to posterity a large fund of ancient learning, Muslim artisans preserved, developed, and spread abroad the traditional workshop practices of arts in the Orient, which had either never penetrated Europe or, if known there in former times, had decayed during the period of storm and stress that ushered in the Middle Ages. Islamic art had its beginning in the mosque. The early mosques were simple construction without any decorations, but soon mosques were refined and mihrabs and mimbars were added to them. Decorations in architectural design and furniture were provided in the mosque. The contact of Arab conquerors with the more cultured sequent nations of Persia and Rome enlarged their vision regarding art and architecture, which stimulated the development of art in Muslim countries. So this is the first lecture and contribution of Muslims in fine arts. Please keep watching my channel, Dr. Abu Abdul.